드리기 초天담부 고주쇼쇼 아니 촌도 나 담시에 나게 게가와 샤보 가와 스리라 페루나 Ambassador Vijay Kant Karna, please, Ambassador ji, please on the stage. Ani Acharya Gyatso Peruna. All right. 라서 아니 주제 그도 제가 따다 차디도 드리 총天당부 기담시 당부 난캔데 샤보 나왕 세리라 차되게 아니 콘다위나 다 인게 돈을 주셔왔지 샤보 나왕 세리라 the author and also the founder director of Center for Research on the Ladakh 그러나 당시에 나야 돼 Reflections on Mount Kailash and Manusarva in Ladakh folk songs. Or those chade gde ani ngawshabula unjunaruna shwe. Yes.
Hello. Yes. Sugeche. At the outset, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Dawa Tsering, Director, and Dr. Tsewang Dorjila to providing me this forum and to express my views on this, we call it sometimes Chota Kailash also, but popularly known in Ladakh as Larikarpo. So, ngite poi nan labna tene ngarangi poi dish ya poi amare kanera nge poi chik tene lobjon cheme ta Ladakh sikat nang podin la pedel ba nimodoga te ngarang chik dire nge tanda poi la nge yapke chigio tene di boti labje duga de kacha safai duga di la nge ngogol chigio ta dinge ngarangi samba dein tene khande nang te nge ngasogi kagyur stangyur dikanga poina mato jarmas kachina na yo mare ta inang coordination chena da ko kaga mare ba
Thank you sir.
Tene ngarangi di mon di Kailash dugar ri thok di something labi tendi somdi lope spospa de nga di ngarangi di ngaso Ladakh la kapaji jungare khorangi chanla labiore kachen ishitundup tenen khong thokmarang di kachen ishitundup di tashilumbi kampu gosal din lomang poji jugare de sikta da tanda khong gopa jogare khong halam chulchu songgup gya sumchu nangla deba kangrembo cha thengi sumcham phebare tene tam nge topic dire di ngatola da poi lamna de chok ladi karpo tene ngato yang chostora lamna di labgere de chok kholo dombe ri labgidu gata di photang labgidu sanskrit lamna chakra sambhava tene gagar pa khasa ji chora kare lene labgidu ta khande na ta di ya di ri de jiktubire pe thompo na pe chemoyo are di gablo da gyanar de are nga di badu di samsam badu to nga to do thobiwa mare anyway so the Mount Kailash is there this what you call it Larikarpo is there. The mountain is considered very sort of holy and many Ladakhis go there to pay their respect. And interestingly, many are not aware of this importance of this particular mountain, though there are some Ladakhis are here. I think they were all telling me that none of them visited this mountain. So that is strange. So I'm lucky, that I'm presenting this paper by bringing this photo. So without saying much, now I will start reading my paper, which is in English. And you can stop me, it is a bit a longer paper. But anyway, I will try to finish it in time. Okay. The topic goes like this: Reflection of Mount Kailash and Mansarovar in Ladakhi folk songs. Reading the autobiography of Kachin Ishitundup gives one a mystical thrill that can't be explained in ordinary words. One is invariably transported to destination where the holy Mount Kailash and Mansarovar lake exist. And yet, let me point out that having been an adventurous in my youth, I had first through or had come across some Jain peaks such as Stok Kangdi, the highest mountain peak among the Trans-Himalayan mountains in Ladakh, 20,500 feet. Kang Yazi, located at the end of Marka Trek, height is 20,000 feet. This peak would come to sight while on Marka Valley Trek. Similarly, Nunkun peaks, of which a bird view can be had while one flies from Leh to Srinagar or Jammu, or while traveling via Kargil to Zanskar Valley. Yet another well-known pass I have been to is Bumla. I reached the top of the pass while on a visit to Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh some time ago. Bumla is considered as one of the highest passes in Arunachal Pradesh, height 15,200 feet, and is situated at the distance of 37 kilometers just above Tawang. The actual meaning of Bumla I could not ascertain for sure, but I know the Bum means in Ladakhi or Tibetan 100,000 and La means pass. What came to my understanding is that Bumla refers to the chain of mountain passes, which can be seen to the extent of one eyesight can go. And interestingly, while happened to visit America years ago, I scaled the highest mountain peaks of western coast, such as Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens, and Alps ranges in Europe. This way, my connection with the mountains is natural phenomena, having been born in the mountain-locked region of Ladakh. Maybe all these mountain passes have stories to tell, but unfortunately, I could not find much time to explore or to read about the legends related to the above-mentioned mountain passes. However, I availed the opportunity to compile Ladakhi folk songs while working in the JNK Academy of Art, Cultural Languages, and came across a number of folk songs which tell about the glory of the mountains, such as Khardungla, just above Leh town, from where one of the highest motorable roads is built, and from where one can have bird-eye view of Karakoram Range mountains, as well as the Sasar Pass in Ladakh. And of course, of Mount Kailash and Mansarovar Lake, the legendary mountains and lakes where once the king of Ladakh had sovereignty. The song relating to these mountain peaks are great and comprehensive, like a history book, and that the songs tell us about the location and surroundings besides their historical and religious significance and existence of monuments such as gonpas, lamaziris, and caves. Out of many such folk songs I have been listened to or even singing since my childhood is Gonpa Sergi Chashkip. And the same remains my favorite song too. And occasionally I sing at gatherings or amusement parties. The song goes like this. The golden colored Gonpa built over a hanging crag. While trying to examine the contents of the song, it came to my understanding the song Gonpa Sergi Chashkip had to do about the vicinity of Mount Kailash. And here at the Gonpa, the mountains birds flock in good number and stay dangling around the crag. No doubt, Ladakh is very rich in the field of folk song culture and literature, particularly in the field of folk songs. The people of remote regions had remained in isolation, and hence, in such conditions, they developed their own culture and succeeded in creating their own ethos that one could address as ethnic Ladakhi lifestyle, and that paved the way for natural Ladakhi songs. At present, Ladakhi songs are found categorized in several heads, but most of them are in the categories of religion, congregational, heroic, love, sarcastic, marriage, tashispa, chang, or drinking songs, yabro, shonlu, traveling, and finally Stendhal or the song of interdependence or good omen. The song in reference could be placed under the category of Stendhal or the song of interdependence or good omen. For instance, a song says that there is a mountain and above it a glacier and next a lake where abundance of clear water exists, which is presentable to Buddha and Bodhisattvas. One of the songs, Gonpa Sergi Chastip, which goes like that. I try to sing actually, I will narrate, this Ladakhi song is very common. People do sing while consuming, of course, sipping chang, etc. So anyway, but here no chang is available. Maybe Dojela, you can arrange a bottle of beer for me in the evening. Okay, song goes like this way. La golon pala selergi la chalarki tenema la jang spari golon pa Mama Gurstan poru julu son zelena Langon pate jalang spesang sa Gurmestan poru julu son zelena Langon pate jalang spesang sa Ya la chogi kalang ri re kalar po Tenamala sham spai salam chu Mama yustan poru julu son zelena La chamchu te shalang spesang cha Yolon chogi solomo la mala pam Tenemala stemes pari yolon chap Mama yustan poru julu son zelena Yon chap tel temes pesansa. So if I give some English explanation, the lake Mansarovar lies on the left direction of Mount Kailash. Its natural water is offered to the gods. It looks like the natural offer is offered to God. If the water of lake stays undiluted and pure, it is more beautiful than offering by man. It was natural offering. So, okay, now the next song. Next, the song of Tibetan Pirthapuri or Tirthapuri in Hindi village, presumably located north of Mount Kailash on the bank of Satluj River. In the song, the village Mansar prominently figures saying that it is joyful village. These twin villages, namely Mansar and Tirthapuri, are presumably located in a radius of 60 to 75 kilometers from Darshan, the entry point to Skora or circumambulation point to Mount Kailash. Here it is pertaining to mention that in the 17th century, aftermath of the invasion to Ladakh by a Mongolian Lama, Galdan Tsewang, on behalf of the Central Tibetan government, consisting of 2,500 soldiers, the king of Ladakh, Gyaltsen Namgyal, sensed threat to the kingdom, and under great pressure, the king agreed to return Ngaris Korsum province including Kuge, Purang, and Rudok from Ladakh to invading forces. However, in lieu of that, the king succeeded to retain the village called Mansar in order to meet the religious offering expenses of Lake Mansarovar and Mount Kailash from Ladakhi side. Historically, the village Tirthapuri is also very important due to the fact that here exists a Gompa called Gangchen Chungi Zangpo of Dorje Trak, as here Guru Rinpoche Padmasambhava and his consort Ishe Sogel had meditated during 8th century. While reading the song or even listening to it gathering, one can sense that the song falls under the category of travel song. And it says that Mount Kailash is the external holy embodiment, while the inner embodiment of the land is Shakyamuni Buddha. So song goes like that. Yulchung skit peduna narsezang spo yuluyo menser skit peduna petapuri ju chirten kankarti se nangsen shakya thuluba chirten kankarti se skurvayas naskorchi. Mount Kailash is the external holy embodiment. Inner embodiment is the Buddha Shakyamuni. Towards external holy embodiment performs Kora taking right hand side. Nangsten Shakya Tuba Gyangna Salalpin Skorwa Yasna Skorwa Lashki Dibadakti Gyangna Salawa Pametin Lan Kochi. So this is another song. Okay. And here is yet another beautiful song which gives a depiction of Mount Kailash, signifying it is the center of the universe. Mount Kailash itself is known in Ladakh or Tibet as Kang Tise or Kang Rinpoche, precious snow mountain, and is located in Purang province. Further, it is to be noted that Purang is the region where Mount Kailash is located, and from here originate the 4 sacred rivers which flow towards India, such as Singye Khabab, then Stachok Khabab, Mavja Khabab, and Langchen Khabab. The composer of this song prays to the Buddha to bestow heap of barley upon the residents of Purang and wishes that the happiness and prosperity may prevail in the region. Similarly, the Tise Shelka Chorten is a popular folk song, sung in chorus actually, in every socio-cultural gathering. So one can look back to the time of Ladakhi royalty, and in metaphysical way, the composer of the song wishes prosperity and happiness to prevail in the twin kingdoms of Ladakh and Purang, and wishes that Dharmakaya, Amitabha, eliminate darkness and ignorance from the residents of this land. So here is popular song. Again, I'm try to sing, you know. Tili se shel kari cholor tendeni zambura lingil te. Nang tena nang sten julu yolele mariki mun pasel. Ti se yum song olon mobo lugela jok pepo. Chik tu le gyal kam yolong skile duzne pang zot kil purans la rung chorom sermonam skim pang zot kil. Okay. Okay. Now I think I have some time.
You have 2 more minutes.
Oh, thank you. I will try to maximum 5 minutes. The Buddhists of Ladakh believe that the gods and goddesses reside in the sky as well as on the physical planet. They also believe that beneath the earth or in the ocean also exist spirits or creatures popularly addressed as Lu. And people assume that if they were taken proper care of and if we desist from harming them, these spirits help the sentient being in their own way. This creature is believed to take shelter in places such as holes, streams, including spring areas, and in the ocean. And if someone disturbs them with bad intention, then they take action and punish the culprit. Therefore, in Ladakh, there exists a tradition of cautioning the people, particularly the younger ones, not to harm or kill fishes of stream or lizards seen in the stony areas, and not to pollute the stream or any water channel or throw waste items in water. And on mountain, as people believe that spirits reside such places as well. Due to this kind of reason, Buddhists offer prayers, sadak dondol, and banners such as tarchok are put up, and incense, sangsur used while traveling on high mountain passes, even in motor cars. It is due to this reason that even at present time, the streams, water of channels in Ladakh are comparatively clean. According to Buddhist belief, the spirits of the underworlds are found in the form of snake, fish, lizards. Due to this reason, Buddhists of Ladakh abstain from fishing or even hunting mountains animals. In the religious texts, the Mansarovar Lake has been termed as the realm of king of serpent or Naga, named as Matos. And underneath the lake lies the fire of hell. Having said that, one must make it a point that there is nothing wrong in assumption. In Ladakhi marriages, a number of songs to glorify the underworld spirits and spirits of heaven, including those of Buddha, Bodhisattvas, and the songs are indeed very beautiful and admirable. Particularly the popular marriage song given below, which is sung at the times of marriage proceedings, is an expression for happiness, life to the newlywed, and a prayer for good fortune and prosperity. In addition, the first offering of celestial food before human consumption is symbolically offered to the gods sitting in the heaven, to the king of the underworld, Matso Gyaltsen, and to the gods dwelling in the villages, so that the newly-wed couple can carry on a happy, prosperous life. So I will sing only 1 minute. So this is my last song I think going to be. So this is very popular marriage song, I think any Ladakhi can sing it. But anyway, I will try to repeat here. Om Trashis par Gyurchi, Trashi delek tal dan par Gyurchi, Serkem sang ma pudni ma nyang spa, Serkem sang ma stengi la la cho. Serkem sang ma pudni ma nyam spa, Serkem sang ma pargi san la chot, Sangi ama skapchin jaldu chot, Serkem sang ma pudni ma nyam spa, Serkem sang ma ogi lula chot, Lui mato zipchen jaldu chot. Karam kangdu yukspe se la chot, Yulam kangdu yukspe yula chot, Sacha dila naspe jida chot, Nyao stala shkope la la. The first offering of the celestial drink may be offered to the sitting on the roof of palaces, or the gods dwelling in the villages, or wherever they found shelter to dwell. The offering may even be given to those who ride horses to help and give protection to the bride. So this way, there are many actually other songs that they are relating, having connections with the Mount Kailash. So I cannot go for go and go. So lastly, I'd like to say once again, thanks for listening my paper. Thank you.
Thank you very much again, Nawang Shakspo, Nawang Senila. I don't think there couldn't have been a better presentation than this to begin the day. And I think it brought the culture of the community or culture of the land back to the community. And I could see on the faces that there's a joy as again, Shakspo Nawang Senila was singing those traditional songs or the community songs. There's a, you could reflect those on your smiles. And also, when every time we talk about Himalayas, you cannot escape talking about mountains and lakes and the connection between the mountains and lakes with the community. I'm also very happy to inform again Nawang Shakspo that I have contributed a chapter on a travelogue by a German author, which got published yesterday, and in which I have highlighted what just you spoke about, the mountains and the lakes on the Tibet plateau and across the Himalaya regions. We are clearly highlighting the Kant Rinpoche and Tsomapam and how this connect to the community in those regions. And to make the audience, I'm sure many of you have very good understanding because we are all from across Himalaya regions, that geographically understanding that there are 14 great mountain ranges that you can count. When I say 14 great mountain ranges, it's not those small mountain ranges. Are mountain ranges that extend from one region to another. There are 14 great mountain ranges. But in Tibetan tradition, or in the understanding or writing, we always believe that there are 9 Spachabilagu. So I think when we talk about Spachabilagu, it easily connects to the ancient Tibetan imperial system, where we have Pate Kungjel. Many of the mountains have Pate Kungjel as the great-great-grandfather of all gods. And even the Yala Shambo, the Mount Yala Shambo, is also part of history. So the mountains and lakes across Tibet and Himalaya regions cannot escape from its history and culture and community. So thank you very much again, Shakspo Nawang Senila, for the very interesting talk, and also very joyful songs that to begin the day with. Thank you very much. And next we have, next speaker is former ambassador Vijay Karna, who was the ambassador from Nepal to Denmark, and he is currently the executive chair of Center for Social Innovations and Foreign Policy. And thank you very much, sir, for coming here. And because Professor Shekhar Pathak is not here yet, Ambassador Ji has moved up here to speak in this session. And the title of the ambassador's talk is Nepal-China Strategic Partnership, Engagements and Reflections. I think this is going to be very interesting for sure. So, Ambassador Ji, we are looking forward to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for organizing this conference and inviting me at this very august gathering. Mr. Tempa, Deputy Director, and the Director of this Tibet Policy Institute, everyone here, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for this gathering. So my title, since I am working on the geopolitical issues on South Asia with the Nepal, with China, India, and US, so our center is working on all these issues since 8 years. So now I'm looking at that how Chinese engagement in last 1 decade, how it is unfolding and what is the implications for South Asia as well as Nepal and the Tibetan refugee living in Nepal. So the next one. Nepal's relations with China has undergone a significant transformation, moving beyond one China policy to one China principles. This shift in 23-24, the Nepal has agreed to one China policy to one China principles. This shift is characterized by the deepened Chinese engagement and influence and acknowledging one China with Taiwan and Tibet as integral parts. So the last few years, whenever our leaders visited to China, the Chinese insisted on the two things, on the issue of Taiwan. Even if our finance minister or the infrastructure minister, whoever goes, last 10 years, what we have observing that the two things on Taiwan and Tibet is mentioned in every document. China's core interest in Nepal and South Asia. The first thing is the Tibet stability. The absolute priority is to ensure the security and stability of the Tibet autonomous region, which now Chinese has started saying Xinjiang, preventing any separatist activist against China from Nepalese soil and strengthening the border. So the border securitization is a huge in the northern border. It's a large number of the PLA, although we have an agreement that the PLA, no army can be stationed in the border, but as per my understanding, they are all PLA under the border security force. So, and the huge presence in the different and creating a lot of infrastructure in the Nepalese border. So the South Asian Gateway, they integrate Nepal's economy and leverage its strategic location as a gateway to South Asian markets, primarily through the development of the Trans-Himalayan multi-dimensional connectivity network, which you might have heard about the railway from Kerung to Kathmandu, and that is yet not started, but the situation is that we have a pre-feasibility study, and Chinese railway has been working on the feasibility study. We are expecting in end of the 2026, the report will be submitted to the Chinese government as well as to the Nepal government. And then it is yet not decided what will be the finance model and what are the other process, but it's very difficult actually, this railway. So this long-term strategy aims to facilitate and land access from Tibet to India and border South Asian market. So the Chinese in the 3-4 location wanted to integrate Indian border, and purpose of this railway is to link with the Indian railway in India, because there is another project we have from the government of India, from Raxaul to Kathmandu, the railway. So it has been already, Konkan Railway of India has been already done, DPR, and it is under discussion between Nepal government and India. So the purpose of this Trans-Himalayan multidimensional connectivity to integrate with the Indian market. Regional influence, expand China influence in the South Asian through the initiative like the Belt and Road Initiative, through this THM-DCN, and Global Civilizational Initiative, that is called, we call it the political diplomacy, and the soft power aiming to make a neighborhood a demonstration zone for its global initiative. The next one, the global governance strategic alignment, seek Nepal's support for China global strategy initiative, including global development initiative, which we are the part now. Global security initiative. This has been discussed between recently, just 3 days back in Beijing with the President Xi and Prime Minister Khadagprasad Oli, and it is reported, the Chinese Foreign Ministry reported that Nepal has supported global security initiative, but our government keeps silent on it, and I don't know, it is against our constitution, because the constitution very clearly said Nepal cannot participate in any security initiative of any countries, and Nepal should follow the non-aligned foreign policy firmly included in the Nepal's constitution. But it is, and our government keeps silent. I don't know, in the coming weeks, maybe it will be unfolding. Another initiative, that is a global civilizational initiative, and aligning Nepal's foreign policy and domestic political environment through the Beijing normative vision of creating a new type of world order. This all Chinese 4-5 initiative recently in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting recently this week, the Chinese president proposed another global governance initiative, GGI. So these are all for the China wanted to create another international order against US or Western-led international order. Status of Tibetan population in Nepal. Nepal's deep adherence to the One China principle profoundly dictates the status and treatment to the Tibetan population within its border, while sensitive issues of Dalai Lama's succession places Nepal in a very precarious geopolitical position. This is one which I always speak, that the last few years, although our refugee in 1959 to till date, there are large number, but now there are very few. And they, from 1995 to till date, the no refugees are getting a refugee ID card, and that has created a lot of trouble with the life, livelihood, their education, health, and everything. And many human rights organizations like Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and other human rights UN body, everybody is talking with the Nepal government as well as with the other human rights organizations speaking on it. But Nepal, under the pressure of the Chinese government, Nepal is not ready to provide ID card for the refugees. It's almost estimated, I don't know the exact number, estimated around 5,000 to 6,000 people is without any identity. Yes, this is the, already I told you about this, the lack of refugee status, limited access, and One China enforcement. Nepal under pressure from Beijing strictly enforces One China policy regarding Tibetans. And this actually creating a huge pressure. Just giving you one example, that when the presidency in 2019 October visited Kathmandu, it was very bad for, I feel sorry, for a country of my country, because that they have been very badly treated, the Tibetan refugee. Almost 54 to 55 have been arrested, and 3 of them who were in the hospital, and 1 of them who was in ICU. So our police station just outside the ICU with the gun. So that was a very bad treatment during that time, and Human Rights Watch reported, many international human rights organizations speak about it. Next one. Yeah. And then suppression of political and cultural expression, impact on human rights, provision of anti-China activities. As I said you that the no demonstration, no celebration of Dalai Lama birthday openly, no displaying of Tibetan flags. Even one time our government has banned this khada. All khada should be banned. And then they realized that the large number of Tamang and our indigenous community use their religious and cultural practices, and then they decided, okay, restore it. So can you imagine that the government had decided to ban the khada? So this is the, I mean that. And then the cultural erosion, religious practices in monasteries are generally tolerated, and public expression of the Tibetan political identity or culture linked to the Tibetan government in exile is completely restricted, and the increased surveillance. One of the very good example of this one, that we have a border, many of them I think know about the Tatopani area, which was a major border trading point before 2015. In 2015 we have an earthquake, and houses in Nepalese part and the Tibet both destroyed. So the people in the Tatopani area, the Tibetans living, they have their houses collapsed, and when the security forces come to rescue them, they found that in almost all the houses, they have a photo of Dalai Lama and the many documents of Tibetan government in exile. So they have been shifted around 100 kilometers away from Tatopani. There is no, the population now in the Tatopani area. They have been shifted to other parts of Tibet. So, and if you go to the border area, you can find that the powerful cameras to the Nepalese side, directed to Nepalese side. So each and every activities in the border has been monitored by the Chinese government. Next one. And then I have a dynamics of Dalai Lama succession in Nepal. It's a very, very precarious condition for Nepal. But very clearly, what is my understanding that if the communist parties in the government, they will support China. There is no doubt over that. Whatever they decide, they support it. And if the Nepali Congress-led government, they keep silent. They keep silent. But the problem if the someone from Nepali citizen selected or became a Dalai Lama, then Nepal government has a big problem. And this is a very important issue. And the Chinese Tibet party secretaries has been visiting Nepal several times. Chinese leader, all the time, last 3 years, they have been raising this issue with all political leaders, government, and other. Please go ahead. Another one. Another, yes. Nepal's geopolitical tightrope, deep reverence versus political reality. While many Nepalese Buddhists and border population hold deep reverence to current Dalai Lama, the Nepalese government has not made any comments yet. Fear of retribution, any perceived deviation from China's stance on the Dalai Lama succession could lead to a severe economic and political repercussion from Beijing, including reduced aid, investment, and diplomatic pressure. Border security implication, Nepal is a crucial transit route for Tibetans to enter. Any instability and controversy surrounding the Dalai Lama's succession could lead to the increased border pressure which Nepal would be compelled to manage under Chinese scrutiny. You know, the people living in our 15 districts of northern areas, their livelihood, their life is very connected to the Tibet. So, market access for goods, for medicine, many things, for both the people. So people are always worried that anything they do, the Chinese has closed the border without any notice. And even we have a 14 border we agreed point to open, only 3 or 4 are operating at the moment. So without any information, anytime they close the border. So that's why the people are worried about it. Future influence, Nepal's neutrality or rather alignment with the China narrative in succession debate is critical for China consolidate its influence over Tibetan Buddhism, potentially using Nepal as a soft power staging ground. Next. Yes, China's growing influence in Nepali Buddhism. China expanding influence in Nepal extends strategically into the religious domain, particularly with the different sects of Buddhism in Nepal, leveraging cultural and religious tries to further its geopolitical objective and promotes its narrative. Yeah. Soft power projection. China actively utilizes Buddhism as a tool for soft power in Nepal, aiming to present itself as a protector and patron of Buddhist heritage. To foster goodwill and reduce the influence of alternative narrative from the Dalai Lama, targeted engagement, monastic engagement program, investment in Buddhist institution, promote state-approved Buddhism. Recently, last year, I think so, 250 monks brought to Nepal, and they tried to bring the Panchen Lama, which Nepal government refused to give the visa to him, and he was not allowed to come to Nepal, but they brought 250 monks and organized a conference on non-high Buddhism. And so engagement with the different monasteries, engagement with the Buddhist colleges, engagement with the Buddhist universities are huge in Nepal. And next one. Nepal-China GSI dilemma. China's statement during PM Modi meeting with the President Xi in 30 August during SCO summit has stated that Oli has expressed Nepal firm support toward GSI and other initiative. Nepal's support to GSI is against Nepal non-aligned foreign policy position. Nepal participation in GSI would be a dangerous step, transforming already precarious situation into the direct threat to their safety, freedom, and fundamental human rights. Expanding monitoring and surveillance of Tibetan settlement. One important thing that which I'm not sure, but some of our security officials, the police top officials, told me that China has run a police station in both the area. I'm not sure, but they told me that something very similar, which we came to know in 19 or 22 about in UK, USA, and many European countries, Chinese run police stations. So, look, this GSI means that Nepal became a security alliance with the China. And it is, yesterday I have seen that in my parliament, I started discussing, and I spoke to the International Affairs Committee chairman. He told me that he is seeking explanation from the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister when they arrive back. Next one. Next one, please. And the deepening societal and ideological influence. Media and soft power. China actively shapes narrative through financial investment in Nepali media, direct content control, and assertive diplomatic intervention, promoting pro-China views and countering dissent. Civil society and elite cultivation. All these areas which we have done the research. We have a separate books. If you go to our website, you can find it. So the civil society, the Chinese has been recently, last few years, engaged in the southern border of Nepal, which is very close to India, and investing huge through Chinese NGOs in schools, in health posts, and large number of what is called this institution. I forget that one, but it's a Chinese institution which has been very actively working in the Language Institute. In last visit of the Prime Minister Oli, last year in December, we agreed to brought some Chinese language teacher for schools. So this is a very important engagement with the civil society, education, health, and all. Now party-to-party alignment. CPC and the Nepal Communist Party has signed MOU, although they have already relation existence a long time, very old relations, but officially they signed an MOU 2019, and they have started training for the large number of Nepal Communist Party youth leader, top leaders, and their other sister organization. So can you imagine the last year only, in 2025, around 2,200 Communist Party leaders and cadre visited China. The next. The next one. Yeah. So our concern that any activities are lack of transparency. Ours is a democratic country. We are expecting our government and even Chinese government to make everything transparent. So even you cannot get the information on the public domain about all these engagement. So the contracts, procurement irregularities and political interference, Chinese-backed projects undermine Nepal's institutional integrity, democratic oversight and accountability. And another implications about the Chinese investment in infrastructure, that the debt and non-viable infrastructure. We have some project like China, Sri Lanka, that the Hambantota port. We have built one airport which is yet not, I mean that the international airport, but it is not being working at the moment. No flights, international flights, very few flights, charter flights from the Chinese airlines. They use sometimes, I think last 3 years, they have been in 6 or 7 times only. So we have spent around $215 million US, which has been our parliamentary committee said that the large amount, almost 80 million, has been bribery amount. So there is a investigation going on it. And then there is a sovereign concern. China assertive diplomacy, direct aid to political parties, and ideological exports challenge Nepal democratic governance, risking the erosion of its sovereignty and leading to a less accountable political system. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I love to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for this very, very important presentation. I think there were some very important points that were highlighted. Looking at your presentation, it gives us an understanding that there's every risk that Nepal might fall into a trap that we Tibetans fell in back in 1950s, when the Chinese were very nice, and they came in as road builders, building roads to Canadian Tibet and one Tibet area to another, and then they were providing money here and there, and also trying to influence ideas here and there. But at one point of time, when they had completed building roads, then came the occupation. And also regarding the railway line that you spoke about, it's a wonderful to have railway lines. It's wonderful to have investment on building roads and railway lines. But unlike here in India, where the roads and railways run to the communities, but in China, under Chinese occupation, in Tibet, communities are forced to come to the roads and the railway lines because the roads and railway lines were primarily focused to our resource center, to our business center. So there's every risk that the Road and Belt initiative, that some of this initiative might come to Nepal, and then those engagements might lead to influx of migration into Nepal, or having the very community population there. And also, I think your institution's research and publication would give Nepali people and Nepali government in the future an understanding of the risks. And I think that is very, very important for our nation, for a sovereign nation like Nepal, to hold on to its sovereignty, because it's a beautiful thing, because we Tibetans, we have a sovereign state until 1950s. In fact, if we have remained independent, we will be the 10th largest country on earth. And also with Nepal, I think, as you also highlighted here in the presentation a little bit, that we share a very, very long relationship, much before Chinese occupation. Nepal never had a border with China. And Nepal has one of the longest border with Tibet and India. To the north is Tibet, to the south is India. And between Nepal and India, Tibet, we had, I think they were, I don't have a very clear historical timeline, but I can say like at least 4 or 5 phases in historical relation. One during the imperial Tibet, Tibet and Nepal, we had a very strong connection. Then during the split of Tibet's empire, where our masters traveled to Nepal, and Nepal masters from Nepal, Buddhist masters were invited back to Tibet. And then there was also a period where Tibetan masters, many of the imported Tibetan masters, and also aristocratic families or business families traveled to Nepal to renovate and protect many of the Buddhist sites. Even the Guardian Potang government that we had, every year they also sent delegation to Nepal just before, I think, Lhasa to renovate many of the Buddhist sites in Nepal. So the connection was very, very strong. And even now in Nepal, there are, as you highlighted, there are a large community of Tibetans, and the community, the bond between Tibetans and Nepalis in Nepal is very, very strong. But of course, as you stated, because of the Chinese money into some of the political parties, we are facing political difficulties. With that, thank you very much, Ambassador Ji, for coming here and also highlighting the important aspect. And next, DJ Langaranzo, Namje, Peji Shiri, Nyamshi Kangi, Nyamshiba, again, Acharya Suri Jamsula, Chadegi, and again, Acharya Suri Jamsula, Gitamshete, Dejung Namje, Peji Shiri, Nyamshi Kansha, Tapsu Le Tupi, Java Kunti Chuba Chembo Chotan, Dejung Jase, Lama Rumboche, Pande Tundup, Namje Niji, Zeje Razam, Lima said Chadegi, Getsuri Jamsala Unzunaruna.
Lasola.
Come a chico, Tibettv, Luki the Pale.
Tare Gyaltsen, Zamlha, Gyaltsen, Yongzo, Gingada, Pegilana Mebuti, Zamlha Shidetve, Konsa Garum Sola, Kyishong to Dovegone, Tare Konsa Garum So, Gondang, Gubzul Babeku, Kodenda, Jane, then Tare Lokormochik, Ninjigi. Loss at the Songinagore, this on the daily training, Tare, Tendici, Tamshe, that's Halabat the Yamara, Raksam, Tendici, like Karan Kokos, Kapasambu, Samgi. Lasso Tening, Gitare, Shuati, Denzon, and Gapishir, Yamshikan, Chatapzul, Trebege, and Yarus Cutting Sushi, Chambo, Palton Turulamani, Gita, Chezo, the Dilbekira, Zeze Raksam to Shuaila. Tati Mashi Ngela, Lingshit of Chesitini, Bayul Demozons, Denzon did a Chuzok and Bayul Demozons, Tadaba the Ixal, Teba and Turap Given Alatini, Sangi Nibuguru, Rumbuchigita, Chingila Batang, Benet in the Chati Yore. That dinner, what is Shubana? Narab Nadu, Tambangata, Sudan, Gata Given and Shubana Shingi. Gurumbuchigi, Del Mambo Bay, Chenor, the Lasso Patent, the Mambo Bay Setene, go. Nay, Chingilabati, the Turapia Bast, and the Davas, the Mangata Davas, Shunatixva, Chirap, Tempa Patara Davas Shubaina, Gada, Turap Davachivana, to the Tsushini, Chutuba, the Dichipa, Tado Yonda, the Shushare, the Zodata, Rizing, Nego, Sazan, Tamboching, then Katopela Manabatre, then did have a chenete, Mampuchi, get up partner, then did have the deep part of the Mangja, then build Demoji, the Insa, Chejo, which our sword, the Lungting Lamata, then the Mampuch Pentended of it. Shunatic Sarawala. Then thank you, Senator Gyaltsen, to get them, but Cheddar Sitten get a Subdin issue part of it. Anzo, Denzon like Gyal Cup, the Unye. Thank Gyalcup and Gyalding indicator. Javachung, Teneson, should and see Nige Tony, Tempa Chidder, Unya stated about Shuna politics are some widow. Then Temangata Chidder Patartice, Gyaldin to get Tempa Chidder, then it was future. Then Tempa Chidder Gicapso, Denzong, Tembe Ingada, Tribunal to Chishis, the payore, the young Dalton. Then it's change Shube and a Katukun Sombukera, Chubdi, the Detola, the Yamship Doyo, the Tatabato, Sega Kaya, Yo Marella. 공개 뒤에 가도 패봤는데 대가다 선바 좀 편조르지 대 들어 주주 줍든 식으로 봐 공 나저로 봐 이버듯이 가상 계름부터 송샤요래 다가난신 때네 숨바디 겨울라 진치분 남과 직미 당한저디 된종이 로기 나라 템빙아다스 템바 용적이다 된종이 템바 용적이 지피다 버저 공슈기를 로기 남과 직미 스타디 들어줘된체 대이 숨도 나도 체숨 최주체 대 시바디 때 가서 된종이 최결 편전 남결 또 건조 실라 나도 체시세 숨디 라마체 지디 최결 당부 편전 남결 때려 잡으시나 다 된종이 시다 간전 주영아 다 탐색이 경기로 왔다 간전 주영아스 다 먼저 지낭 상순비 시다로와 친이다 남바 강리 잡으러와 나нул라다 미 고랑 라수마 시다 로라 직들레 대바 직들레 마 직들레 하 직들레 대바 된데기다 시다 여러와다 띵 사브레도 땡아 인지토네 the third largest mountain in the world 데라고 쉬고도 돼 너저 개침부시라 쉬고요 다 다리 뒤니 무체 정은 빵랍스 쉬고다 데데단 다 숙침부시라 요래 쉬이 용용 쉬셔나 삼수 다 비드머징이 게라 춥드니 니슈파기다 록점 쉬셔나라라 데는 당에 드럽 쉬셔기 지든 거기 두줄 십지 시니로 배슈가딩 포다 운이 바탕체 대대 용라제 벽이 로기나라라 대중디디 용라서 뒤진 최결 남결 결기 이 진진디 분조 남결을 처벌라 다디 용라저래 되나 용라 마임바 시티 카운슬 테 니시드 니바들이야 지동 국가 tukya shibti shedu lajun chimba pene yangjar sitting azu shuba tendegya ko nanglol ting sabotono tende tabaji yorela tene sungde nirab ta tengsa khasabore narab khasur tingdi nirab tende nothing yesum chik saba tende dola imana nothing chiku shuba ta tengsa nothing yesum yedusne ko modern dola 게라 니슈 발라더니 공성가바 준비 꾸딩 림첸 당 대전 최결 고도 림첸 밖에 취직이 되람 중요하다 대슈 뭐가제 여러분 꾸딩 다 나바네 접시 받듯이 대전 최결 고랍 중립 받으러라 대전 최결 편전 남결네 대전 최결 타마 중립바 발전 들은 남결체 때려다고 지체 다 대기 다 저와서 배춘 잡을 때 나다 저와 배준 잡을 쉬면은 야고트 림춘기 세팅 아술 가디 중바이나 되네 대전 최계 림춘이 된준 잘다다 불된 제불 된디기 솔긴디 고딩 주시 받을 텐데 솔기 야표야 된데 되네 된종기 최계를 고잡 표현을 뉘수 된종 최계를 받자 바이나 되더라고 지게 그 배준 잡을 쉬어야다 델학바 된종 최계를 다시 남결 얍세 니든 되게 고르시드산에 된전 최결 죽지 바디 다시 남결라와 세시든 바디 들 남겨 공이들 되게 거르시드산 다 다리 조조디다 다 딜라 가리용 그러잖아 된전 남결 이스타블리시먼트 차 답줄이 되게 중당한 데게다 겹종다부터 된데다부터 다 쉬우다 쉬토고 말을 다 얘기 로기톤이 가자 로기톤지 쉬시나 갑자기 아숨라 된전 게세 라마른 부지 초기가 장주 전부 최저기 촉조 두개 시에도 와라 되네 숨네 되네 딩일라지 유사래다 전주 표현이다 개미올라 발제 된데기 죄야기 내가 유사래 대송다 고라 라마지 전종 가서 가세 시티선에 바유창기 연경기다 은둘 숨도 딘난기 구링가바 차되게다 되기 고라 인터선 된데기 센터는 착배 다 돌식 대피로와 착배 망체에서도 도로시나 된데다 길로 메나 삼기도 가서 디 다가 소고 지하러 와다 두섬 된데도 인기로 조디도 되네 질지동 앞중 양알라 리 로죽라 게슬라마르 상게 냥대기 로니동 앞에 코로웨기 뒤ting기 체도 최조네 장주 전부 최조네 고된도 된데 되쇼풀 하사랑을 패도라 다디 참아 군대기 장대 당보다 니갈라 된데 세도라다 되쇼파 인비테이션스로라 되네 용다기 질지동 고딩 앞중 가도 다 축축변나 거서 야오름 붙이서 대종길 야가도 대뒤 성질도 레 샵쇼 잡래 다디 용다래 되네 다 지금 그게 앞중 앞뒤 나와 당배나 다 막게 제고 두 마게 참마 제고 참마 차 내전 칼을 내고 신차 대중전 집가 교로 와 집가 교도 전에다 내가 어디 가르쳐 왔으나 대중 나토라라 강인데 전부 제법 된 대중 강도 개 포랑도 된 줄라 강도 된 된다 가시링 슈텐 자고 받는데 차버렸어 다 제남라라 로가로가 요래 디 신다나라 가시라 된다 가시 슈요래 되네 지일도 라와 프리덤 인 엑자나라야 다와직 슈이 되네 티나샤 되게 다라 따디잖아 다 제남숨 다다 표도 뱀이 고접되다 드레비스잖아 다 표도 뱀이 레테스 게 디나라 된다 가시 슝샤라 된다 저래셔 다디 남게 표기 실은 ям시가 차다 붙을라다 당부디 갑뒤 시대잖아다 니동 앞야 코로 들인데 갑뒤니 이게 슈디 보랑 슈나한테 자네더니 디 지다래 지다니 페브리 다리 주기 제 되게 딱딱 약고 계셔 표다 중립 체주 계셔 근데 같이 익절을 둘라 체주대다 구름 되게 배자체므로 와라 먼저 된 얘기다 가와상부 충시 대님을 되는 쪽에 앱세는 글씨바지 망도 디나미데 파운데이션 스톤데 레체브레라 디티나데 지단다 파게디 파운데이션 스톤데 고버더 레미도디 먼저게 철시 간데간데 괴레라 되게 군들 젠더 시구에서 블루프린트 오지 데이터 오지 레샤라 다디 고버 카시스데 데 간도레 이서를 주게 다시 남게기 제다 표버데 제데네 데마 벤저리 밑에 랭겔 슈 바조데다 마기 디릴라 인더 간디 단데 주게 다시 남게 랭겔 고슈도 아도 고버라 잠치 봐주셔야 되는 거죠. 등아도 벤저라 조조딜라 이 초라데 벤저라다 군디 주 망도 때문에 집이 난데서 건서 뵙고 슈니 슈바디 레샤 다시 남결체 되는 릴레체 렘부 망체레샤 거기에 차답이 슈글라더니 구쇼 넘버져 봐다 가서 그래 군디만 나봐줘 봐줘 패바던데 고버 가시스라 하선라 된다고지 다디 낭로라 벤저기 낭로라 대갑 기레샤다 로직이 간도나 받지 바기데다 기마데 참에 용다데 다데 치도라와 값스 고버데 도알라 디값스데니 군주 야오르미 솔라데 바로 견단게 롭종다 나바레서 데르다버지 야세르미 데르다버지다 바기데 되는 가죠 야세르미 버지세 벤저기 되려체 다데 디마데 개점부 조 디그리다 덴종 야세 촌 레굴 슈버시 냠시 칸기 체도 두 공석 야오르미 조 벽이 송분가 더 소리 나와데 나와낭 천천도 샴사 데르다 버지세라 데고 벤저 라가 디 셴디 전에 맞아 익잖아 데네 또 데네 소리 나로시 람네 익잖아 시버치네 근데 야야 손 인다이 손 데르다 나체 데네 바페네 가시세나 냠돌 페버 남돌 바 니동갑약 냠돌 페버 슈구요레 가시나 파페네 추다 차베나 레스데 슝게데 다 강더 카이나 차베나와데 개침부터 시구로라 된 공사기하고 좀 작대 소리나 좀 이게 첸도를 임살 슈베나 다 된다고 지금 반에 공사기 레지스터 북 나는데 슈버지래 가담 파주 뼈직 가담 부주 뼈숨 제 정가의 송공 뼈 좁게 결잡제기 송뼈게 기룹제 송중니 결조 당부 주진 제 기준루기 송분 뼈가 결준이 바 기준 결주 송분 뼈시 결정아바 좀 로상 결주 송분 뼈 니사직 낭매 뼈시디 치수 되는 지동급이 급주 고질라 추 판에 잼비 야르보 보된 포란의 야르보시는 대가지 변절을 니장아 차장한테 봐 로인슈야 요래 빠르게 왜래 급주 고질 팔지 인사래다 데레라 대 결주도 바가상 결주기 뼈게 결주 개바 전부 결주 뼈니 고발 농도기 뼈직 결주 주가 초림 결주 남도 뼈직 결주 주제바 결합 결주 뼈직 틀레 결주기 뼈직 결주 주소마 톱된 결주기 송봉기 뼈가 남도 뼈니체 된 진리 용지기 시결적인 송분 뼈주고 동알롱도 라마게 뼈니 제 공단 근저 들미 뼈게 제 토겐 책이니 막 뼈주 제 시랍 가지고 송분 뼈디 gelontsoni thaba shido ki sungbum pe je paung ga be sungbum pe gu gelu densa sumbi ikeda sungbum torbu chegi pe ni sum stopke che den kadam sani gi chejong korti che dada ninsung pe sum che gyuden rubi doiling bum di pe sum che phudorin je rubi apse sungbum pe ni sabge yapse ni gira yap ki pe ni chatu se gi pe ni doala ta degi palbum parma rinjin terje degi palbum parma damga che degi palbum parma kongrol kabum pichu degi palbum parma kanjunga de pe sum 되게 빨봉 파르마 시자적이 빼숨 되게 빨봉 파르마기 개숑 빼숨 두바 경계 빼마가 빼정아 두고 교가 지된게 빼nga 두바 가격이 숨 털부 빼니 이제 가린 침소리 잔나셔서 당에 장가다부 잡제 견동 빼장 숨게 숨주 섭든 수도 되나는 다 익자다고 쉬베나 데 흰고로 니붐 되기 차베 소리 나와 자와 큐도 된다고도 야 익자 가시라야 티 가시스 된다고 소시하다 된다래 조조데 땅에 쉬어야 될라 가래 쉬베나더니 다 차베 디 소리 나체 주든 국가 딱 납중갑게 nga고 되는 소리 나와 디기 토는 되는 소리 나위 토는 건적이 변적이다 디기 우진체 되는 레저바 장마치체 디니 로디 툭추단 든지링기 디갑스데 미유소데 군디기 소리 나위기 작베 딜라 때니기 벽이 변적이다 Tibetan libraries 인진하는 데서 고쳐버리샤 데 망차 디나로라더니 군디기 소리 나와디 다 작베나니 슈베는 망차다 쉐 바강 기든지도 당가도 전종 계라데 쉐 바강 가면 하고 말에 다 민니 쉐 바강 라르마도 쉐선 원리 서라 카케부터 시작하자는 마도 된대로 신다 되게래도 와 되는 세라메기 바강지도 디나 레스트 나로라 되는 세라 제기 바강도 망체 쉐 바강 따져도 길루 송붐 갑테 길루 송붐 서르나데 되네 토는 남게 표기 시리냐면 이신 이니셜 브레드 나로라 되네 전에다 변제도 줍샤 슈야인라 bedroom kashista sami makhe ma de ta bedroom de lhasa kangyur se ina lhasa kangyur de mangche gi ta kundu gi sore na wor shugudu de shwe parkanti ina ige khebe register na lo la dinala se mindu dinala ya register kundu nga thuk ji yore dikap so register na lo chama cha gi thina de gelu kadam sani gi register ji de na lo la 고추도 전 코로나 가담 파제 부제마도 라사 간규스는 큰 면도라 서려 나와대 직잖아 이 답답하도 가이니 마서 망체기 라사 간규 대냠도 생겨서 서려 나이로 쉬고도 알아 배좀 되더라 버티세라 변제기다 나글로게 Tibetan library 배제가기 통나다 되더라 버티셔인라 대타지 이 배전답 쉬는 부대 송분 변지 잡게 되지 나로라 대야 쉬어 바강 빠진 있어라 전 장마 차고 장마다 다체마 수도 된데 인사로 와라 랑서 또 저도 디나라 다른 게 컨텐츠 디나라 개정부 쉬우지 쉬어야지 네 고사 개변 전부 초기다 저 남게 벽이 시리가 두 전절 취능도 잔데니 작백하 안되는 소소 가서 된데기 치도 쓰야다 된데기 치다 되네 나이 쉬어 가시스도다 다 되잖아 언제 레공기 때다 가서 그래 커피 뭐마지 띠 되네 탐과대 마버리도 알아 그래서 주동국이 두주 레직라 주 대종 야세 라마를 못을 자리 피워버디 대조 어디 값서 되네 이던 부르베기 가서 그래 작배지 소리 나로 지스 디균된 미 암도 된데 땅에 된데 땅에 된데 규제 되네 대성 야 된데 다버지다 쉬어야 된데일라 작배디다 대 두주 레지 치라와라 디 슈글라다 디 나로 데라라 두주 레지기 파 디파 피야 되세 바 되려 같이 작별이 제 이거 어디 제라 오기 되지. 근데 지금 그 도저히 했음라 저 피부들에다 알아. 된다고 지세라. 되는 저디 부대 송범기. 바 야르보시로 지스들이 자주 파시제 되네. 디나라 차례 난게 망차다. 박에기 지신게 단단한데 된종기 까지야 소놈 돕기 공기 잘 규체 공기 되네. 참아 지시에 난게 된데 잡으래샤라. 된다고 지세네. 다디 독주 입시 나올라래서 센터를 된마 변제 부대 송범명 배 잡아대체 이자 되는라버지 작대디신 지도가 좀 최주민 남 대도까지 소남 도비 지시에 나위 또 된마 올 인지 나올라 공기 다시 가서 소남 도비 작전에 대체 I have received something 나도 작배대 좀 간저 다 변제기 되는라버지 쉬어야겠라 되니 자리 직디 주동급이야 독주 랭하기 차더라다 디나로다 직 고서 개변 전부 쳐 시비 표정 작대디지 저어들다 되더라고 쉬어야겠라 다디 저번에 오기 디 ngo만을 쓰는 땡진 춘이스티도 공을 따라 인사로 발제 공기 자리 제제 되더라고 되더라도 먼저 파저 이 자리 얘기를 정한되라고 해야지. 이거 대체 다디 탐각고 땅아 신부데 탐가 마보디야 자천부 쇼제 이사로와 앙링민 앙이 탐부라고 돼. 탐관을 되라고 배천다고 돼. 다디 저기 고기 둥지 최결기 고기 둥지 자리 집회지 가지고 다 우진 다이렉터 디캅서 빨지 시나삽스 엔시 시나 공인사래 디가 자리나 된데 슈구도 슬람되네 자리 봐 땅아 쟁여마 차베파 표버든 수 나로 지스테니마 차베 연결파 까지 수능 돕기 차기는가 야부슈가 된데 레셔 디캅서 되네 벤체기 남다다 된데 망보지 가서 그래 차베 야를 나샤로라 다디 먼저 이게 프레시던트 denjong chögyal sitina dadi kongi ma gyarum bujilata ige title kora pa konsal piba jiresha la parang shagya kora piba resha inge chende ma ge ujingi chen ton chari pido ala ta kandar kongsa chadi dinam ta ngano penju nangi ikcha chadi yorela ngita nge peje shibre ma to ta parwan di sama penju rang ikcha chadi yorela ta di shugula ta ngaju ta 도메갑이 남게 표시를 남는 살인남이 표기 주기 가기시다디 조동급기 tuk주 네 고조에라도 되는 고디 출루 가시기 인지는 런던 라마스인데 꽤나도 왔으나 sabdan denjo chogyal 고디 denjo 한제 쇼요 말하미 대선테니 고부 야도를 무치 시드름 무치 공기 양시 쇼도알라 마르탐 도den기 세디체 된 갑도 두르름 무치 가시 샤거데 구나 드베 갑스딩이 공 바기 잘레 갑도 두르름 다wen 샤데 지동급기 tuk주기 오피스 오더 녜스도 인지나로 발제 된지 통합부터 잘해 나샤 대공 작대기는 밥변절 배드전에 고발을 했습니다. 때문에 길루더니 냥규를 붙여 냥대 기부 사게 했더니 사게 겸볼로도 상부지지 되네 레조를 붙이지 된다면 땡기 견자를 붙이 땡기 견자를 붙이 때 rum붙이 공부 쉬자고 쉬고라 두rum붙이 공부 쉬고 공기 고점만 데려다 붙이 교샤 데려다 붙이 되네 저 쉬어야지라 되네 단다 먼저 군디기 소리 나면서 쉬고라 되네 벽이 라마레 된종기 꾸다레 되네 벽이 꾸다레 두개 아시케선 수련의 된종기 소리 망보지 나샤 지도 그 된종이 봐다 된종 쉬고 되는 장마 되네 반양 아팅레 되네 망보지 소리 나서 대 쉬고라 되네 변주 자주부지 님에게 도매 잘라다 뮤지엄 댐도 칸다 인지 변주 딘디 차다베 공시딘디 가이 유사 말이라 된 갈리갈때 야르게 딱 야르게 타요 말와 갈리갈 야르게 치는 딘디 차지 단대 잘라드는 덴조 변주 가서 남글 소리 대체지 요래 부디스트 스터디스 라면은 낭텐다 뷰릭 비 대체지 요래 딘디 다부지 당한지 개좀 데려다보는 변적이 루기도도 주인다 죽돔 다보들 지나다 시라 쉬야입니다 공사경기 꾸린 시험 초당 대전 개세 라만 남니는 공발랍생기 투지까지 라면당 기아가르 슝니 다 고티 콘주 숨 자첨부 시우체 되게 변적 죽린 시도잖아요 조조의 최결한 공시디 차다베 제 별은 내당 된데 규라도잖아요 개침부 찍디디체 찍디 여름 부치기 차베 나면 소리디체 니디 내루기 대가도 등교 창우디 다 창우디 변적이 개침부디 콩 넘버 숨디 변적이들 도메기 루기들 very very important personality 차대기 요래 쉬어이 되네 엄청 남게 비실이 염식 땡단 때문에 차도 토발레 다대차를 편진 배당이 히말라야 처리도 편진 납진 시위인게 시 촉바당 중구를 율전이 바로 취시 지변 지로 용외 등이 멜람점 쉬어이 되네 다 쉬어야지라 gyatso lamar mochi shugyu gyumche da baya khase lochunga khari na kong chögel ra gyatso singi di khari na son gyatso de mi da denjong gyatso ra lamar mochi shugyu gyumche de kona palbung situ penching gi enggen sum chungdo la de palbung gi luginal do enggen sum nani enggen chi gi kuting ngaba de chadi gi palde tur nam jalde kuting ni de ta pherang gi che kuting sumba de denjong chögel sigyu nam jal che 고딩 시바디 시경 뚫고 된종 체결 출바디체 되네 고딩 나바디 발든 타마 발든 된도 남들 차되기 요래라 되리라고 쉬 되네 먼저 디날 까마치 라스 디날로때 벤즈라 롱스쟁이 미고로와 미 땅에가 하고 온들라 땅 위에서니 조디다 대보 릭네 겐라 겐페마 야체 공세 가디 편에 차비 망보지 바 코나 휴지 마무지 남기 요래 되네 된종기 최된 고발라 러벤 택조 슝 두바 공기 망보지 쓰게래 누름지 코랑기 차비 망보지 아야 쉬는 도일링분도 좀 망보 쓰이소 다 대체 된종 나니 휴베네 다대 잘 케리 붙이 망보 잡에 시기요래 된 대중 시라기 로벤 넘버들에 로충안에 다다데 로벤 직미 오죠 공 넘버죠 비유 돌아대 가지도 심지선이 가지도득이다 인바렌 크리트 다 비유이다 저와요 비게 된대기 되네 공 넘버 롱치기 된대다 보셔이 되네 다마텔라 제시 된대다 보세 비블로그래피 조시타 싱라기 차대티체 되네 군두기 대입솜디체라 된대다 보세 제게 박션지 신티체라 된대다 보세 잉글리시 소스라다 털라 쳔부스 되니체 공가 윤대기 작비 디나로라 코노 Tibetlosin Tibet Buddhist 가서 Tibetlosin Sikkim Senasabi logi dinalola professionalola ngenjenalo de tisha 당보 추당 간데 추바레 베제테베제 되네 마게 젠조라 페드자네 작베 다 요마라 베발레 되네 조조도 캄바 가르기 단다 다시 정기 고나마도 다 숨숨 되는 로투신 피슈기 알아서 버테데 제네 되네 쉐버제 되네 가딘 쳔부치 송샤 슈야이 되네 다버치 된 도지치 슈 되네 다버치라 먼저 레공체 doctor 바성체 트링 공원 덴진 노블 남갈치 고저 고발도 소레 나스티는 먼저 레공 포버 트링 부티아 뱀바 부티아 실랑가기 벤디싱 공기디 비비에드 소야기 된 자로 나티선 타말 도지지 슈야이 된 베미드 익스 베기 시기 냠지카 달라마 토르럽냐카 사라페기 토르럽냐카 멜람페기 다티 쳄조카 라스 덴디스틴 투슈이 투치에 탐들
라스 라스 아차야 추리잠 라 카딘치 슈야이 아니 다 단다 대중 남제 페이지 시리냠 시카 문에터넬로 다 주주 레디레지 다스 차데레 뱀스네 같이 못 차데레 나바서 만부시 가마마 아니 피갈다 공고나바서 대면 슈만부도 대롱에 가마마 페루지 슈야이 아니 안소 수진 냠슈 강nguyên 이나야 예림보시라 베지나시 냠시비 총데데 피갈라 대중 남제 페이지 시리냠 시카도와 실진 초트나삼 든데시 삼르지 땅디에 아니 안데 넘버 절 자네 봐 디지지지 간스나 아주 베지 수준이야 칸키 베지 나지 냠시 손다다비나 나니 와라나시 초레 딩겔 뱅글로 달릴라면 돌러블 초레 아니 사랄 남지 초소바레 지 셰에 두네 칸 사마을 거라지 잔 초디기에 어디지 슈야이 아니 단다 게 아자 추리 잠들 수완 난시리다 공사 주순바레 공사 주슈바레 땅 아주 베기 찰수 강이 태비 값을 아니 대중 자세도 저주르바 뱀무슨 대화 침부 차대 내가 침부 차대 샬레 뱀무 나데 다나지 가싱 괜찮라 지르 수만 나시리 야야 로지 대로와이나야야 파편 수평 돈에 대화 뱀무슨 침부되는 방법 예 대화 차대 단디찰이야 뒤세 그 준비 야 디젤랑 아주 통대디 다리고 손대 담보도 대상 돌 주도 초와 지슈아이 가딘체 넘버 3 thank you very much 아니야 디와트 드려야나 군로 셰라도 닝우 셰라 바릴라 콘 넘버들 쿠치 좋아나르지 라서 아니 디제가 소텐 소쇼나게 브람바 데데데셀라 차데